What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Yala, your thrice weekly podcast where we talk about the hottest news with a touch of what, Terence?
Good old humor. Yeah, that's right.
You lost the cadence, Terence.
No, I was just trying to think of something. Excited to talk about today's one because stuff today because it's to do with one of your big man crushes. So I was going to say something that I was afraid it would come out homophobic, so I didn't want to say anything.
Actually, I wouldn't say this guy is a man crush. I mean, yeah, we can get into that. We can get into that.
We'll get to that.
But yeah, it's the midweek. Today, honestly, I'm looking at sun and I'm not excited. I'm not excited. I miss the grey weather.
Yeah.
Right.
You miss the grey weather. And,
I miss the grey weather.
But it's not the end, lah. It's still cloudy. It's still a little bit cloudy, right?
Yeah, it's the beginning of the end, lah.
Yeah, it's the beginning of the end. Your pits are gonna get sweaty again.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to start showering more than once every 2 days.
No, I will start checking already, lah. I will start checking that a bit. I'm like, it's moist.
You don't need to check anymore. You know it's moist.
Check. Correct. Yeah, fuck, man.
It's the kind of thing once you go and take a poop in the toilet, do you ever need to check? Do you need to use toilet paper? You have to, right? You don't.
Bidet. I'm a bidet. I'm team bidet for life.
You're a bidet person. So do you need to check? Do you use bidet?
No lah.
Or you always use lah?
Yeah lah, always lah. No, as in if I...
Actually, it's quite interesting. So, when you use toilet paper, do you feel like you have to use a lot of toilet paper to feel as clean as a bidet?
Yes.
Because it's a big thing, right? There's a lot of public toilets that don't have bidets. So you're forced to use toilet paper lah.
Yeah, exactly. That's why if you find a public toilet with a bidet, it is like striking gold. No? It's almost you have to think, okay, I might need to go in 3 hours. Can I expedite the process now?
Yeah.
Just if you're going to be out the whole day lah.
And for all the people, the Chinese majority listening to this, I only realized it was a real big thing lah when Haresh started to really, tell me obsessively about his love for bidets, and I realized it's I don't know whether it's us Chinese or something. We use toilet paper primarily and not bidets.
Yeah. So
it was quite a revelation in my adult life that there's a huge swath of the population that doesn't like using toilet paper that much.
Yeah, man. Yeah, even when we got our studio space, I remember the toilet, I was like, there better be a fucking bidet inside.
Yeah, that was your one big request for a bidet.
I was like, I don't care. No windows. No, of course, windows would be nice, but a bidet.
As an aside, is there any, do you use, if there isn't a bidet, is there a water bottle with a little tube or something that you bring yourself? You drink from it, then you also can use it as a bidet. You just turn it upside down.
A little attachment that I screw onto my water bottle. No.
Then you have to fit the toilet bowl and use it yourself.
No.
Okay.
But that being said, that feels like a potential product idea, man.
Business idea.
The Yalabat bidet attachment.
Yeah. The water bottle / bidet attachment. You drink from it and you also use it as a bidet.
No, but I'm telling you, people listening to this podcast, you're either team bidet or you're team toilet paper. I've never met anyone who is somewhere in the middle okay with both. So if you're listening, just take a moment and pause and think, are you team bidet or team toilet paper? And if you are one or the other, go talk to someone who might be on the opposite side.
Yeah.
Or you might already know, You might already know.
That's what Yalla Butt is about, bringing two sides together. A bidet user and a non-bidet user talking about the news.
Honestly, it has been on my mind, given our name, to if we ever do sell merch or something, it's either going to be boxes, toilet paper, or something to do with a bidet. It just fits. Yeah, it just fits so nicely. And which content creator would sell merch like toilet paper, right? That in itself is Yalla Butt.
Yeah, Yalla bidet. Yalla bidet. But you sell both, that's the point, right?
Yeah, exactly. Two perspectives, two ways of cleaning your butthole.
Yeah. So
sweet.
I think we've just created another way to separate, to divide people, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Team bidet or team toilet paper? Cool, right, man. All right. Yeah. Shall we jump into... Oh, before that...
No, but before that, we want to plug something that has been quietly in the works the last couple of weeks, right? And then, Harish, you want to do the honors?
Yeah, it's just that I mean we've been uploading our Ministry of Funny YouTube videos onto our Ministry of Funny Instagram, just to expose those videos to a new audience who maybe have not seen our ancient videos all the way back from 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014. And shout out to Tristan, our teammate, who's been diligently uploading them and coming up with cool captions. So please check them out. And hopefully, if you enjoy them, just share them on your stories and whatnot. And they're also on TikTok. They're also on the Ministry of Funny TikTok.
And we're
yeah,
we're also plugging it because it's actually very relevant to what we're discussing as a first topic as well, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
And that first topic is I mean, if you are a consumer of online content, especially YouTube, you probably would have seen this video in particular, if not a video by the creator. The video is titled, what is it titled? Shit. Okay, it's titled. Wait, what's the title of the video?
I think it's I cured 1,000 people's blind.
Yeah, I cured 1,000 people's blindness.
Yeah.
Shit. What is this? Is so
1,000 blind people see for the first time by MrBeast.
Right? By MrBeast. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the name of the video. Right now I think it's number 2 on trending in Singapore. Globally, it's probably on every trending chart. And as of now, 2 days later, there's 67 or almost 70 million views. So it's literally that lah. He and his team, they fund and record reactions of 1,000 people who've been cured of blindness, basically cataracts. And talk about some other things related to preventable blindness. So it's gotten a lot of positive feedback, but it's also caused some controversy. So, Terence, when you first saw this video, right, what did you have any like inner feelings on what's going to happen or what's going to go down?
To be honest, I'm not a huge fan of MrBeast videos. I mean, I think they're interesting ideas, they're cool, okay, but the videos themselves, I don't find them particularly super engaging to watch or what, like compared to what PewDiePie or the OG YouTubers, where it's really about their personality, a Casey Neistat or a PewDiePie kind of YouTuber, where the personality really comes through, and that's what you come back to watch. I think MrBeast, if anything, is like the high concept YouTuber. Like the idea of the video is the thing that draws you in, but you could replace him as the host with anyone else and the video would still stand there. Whether it was the Squid Game video or this video. So I wasn't like, it's a huge deal that I know that I'm going to be blown away when I watch it. For example, when I watch a Mark Rober video or even a Casey Neistat video on the occasion that he releases one. But yeah, I saw that there were a lot of positive comments, but also some backlash about it, which only is inevitable because he is the biggest YouTuber on the world right now, right?
Yeah. So maybe just to give a TLDR of who MrBeast is, if you still for some reason have not heard even that term, he currently has 130 million YouTube subscribers on his own channel. He's the highest individual or personality based YouTuber. It's not the biggest YouTube channel because the biggest YouTube channel is T Music, I think. T Series, which is which just uploads Indian music, and it's run by a company so he's the biggest individual YouTuber across his other channels. I think he's got more than 200 million subscribers, and he has 30 million followers on Twitter. So he's huge He's fucking huge, and he's built up some sort of an empire I think his team has about 200 plus people. He has MrBeast Philanthropy. He has his own burger brand. He's done a lot of pretty cool initiatives like planting 20 million trees with Mark Rober. So he's and his style of videos, like what Terence said, it's almost extreme the beauty of YouTube is that anyone can become a YouTuber, or at least that's the belief. But his videos, there's no one, you can't replicate it without spending a shit ton of money. I think his Squid Game video cost 5 million to make a YouTube video, right? So it's always borders on the extreme So like you, when I saw this video, I didn't actually click on it because as much as it might seem I have a man crush on him, I respect his business acumen. I respect his ambition and drive. He's only 24 now. But the same thing, the videos never really compel me. And this one, I figured there might be some twist behind it. I don't know. No, actually, no, I didn't think there would be a twist because he does do this kind of stuff, but I just felt no compulsion to click it. It's only when you suggested this as a topic, and I was like, okay, let me finally watch it. And in the 8-minute video, basically, he introduces like the problem, which is like millions of people suffer from preventable blindness, which is just cataracts.
Yeah.
And it can be solved by a 10-minute operation. So he partnered with a hospital. The doctor gave some insight into the procedure. Basically, they suck out your cloudy lens and they put in an artificial lens. And he got 1,000 people from around the world. So he and his team flew to different countries like Vietnam, Jamaica, of course the US, and did the surgeries for free. And he captured the reactions of the people who had the surgeries. Most of whom I think came out with much better eyesight.
Yeah.
So what, you mentioned there was a lot of positive, but there was backlash. What is some of the backlash, Terence?
I think some people are, okay, on one level, there's a lot of people on Twitter calling him out for it's as if it's charity porn, where he's basically using these people's misfortune or inability to pay for healthcare as a clickable video to create for his audience to get 68 or whatever 70 million views, and then to make money from that. So there's one level of criticism. The second level of the backlash is, I think, a general feeling of distaste that it requires a millionaire or billionaire philanthropist to come forward and want to make a YouTube video about curing 1,000 people, for these 1,000 people to receive a basic necessary healthcare procedure that people are asking why can't it be paid for by public services or government or someone other than just a random philanthropist who decides I want to make a video about it. So that is mostly to me what the two levels of criticism are. Am I missing out anything else that you've seen?
There was one more about the thumbnail, which is basically him and a child who has like his eyes just unbandaged and happy with what he sees. So I don't think the child actually features in the video, but it's that kind of like very YouTube-y kind of video with the mouth open and like just like exclamation. But that was just the aesthetics of it. So you mentioned two. One is the criticism towards MrBeast, like poverty porn, and the criticism of the issue itself. Like, why is this so? Why is it such a difficult process for people to do? What's holding them back? So do you agree with the criticism of him? Because we have spoken about him. We have spoken about the Squid Game video and our thoughts on it. But in this case?
So I think we are quite uniquely placed to talk about this, right? Because in our history as YouTubers as well, we did do certain videos that, in a similar vein, where we are, working with whether it's underprivileged or marginalized groups to try and highlight the issues that they face via our videos. And
like cardboard collectors.
Yeah, I have. Exactly. We did we will put links, but we did a prank where we dressed Harish up as a elderly cardboard collector, and basically got a wrestler to body slam him into a pile of junk and see how people would react to that. Elderly abuse, primarily. So it's not so much about cardboard collector, it's just about elderly abuse. I think there was a topic of discussion about how the elderly in Singapore were not getting taken care of, and in fact were being abused by people at home and all that, domestic violence all. So we wanted to make a video about it, and you could in some sense argue that we used that issue to make a video and get clicks from it. So we've spent a lot of our time in our past making pranks around social issues, or another one that comes to mind is our Labor Day video, where we also interviewed two migrant workers and basically had them to tell us about their experience of being a migrant worker in Singapore, what was difficult about it. And I think the major irony was when they mentioned that they had actually had a hand in building some of these beautiful, bright skyscrapers in Singapore, but they've never had a chance to step foot inside or even enjoy the fruits of their labor. And what we did was, in a very MrBeast-esque kind of moment, we said, hey, let's bring you to Sentosa and have you sit on a, what was it? What was it called?
Flying, the
Flying fox, right? The flying fox.
Treetop, something like that.
Treetop flying fox, so that you can enjoy the view and enjoy the apparent fruits of your labor, right? So that was a video that we did that had a feel-good ending to it. And I think what we were also trying to do was to highlight the plight of some of these migrant workers who also for various reasons are not able to go home, right? So yeah, we have that experience, and that's where I thought it might be interesting for us to talk about this, because I wanted to ask you, like, what do you feel philosophically about content creators, featuring underprivileged or marginalized groups in their videos and putting as clickbaity titles as possible to get people to click on it and all?
Oh, very skillful, Terrence. I ask you the question, then you go on one big roundabout and then throw it back at me.
No, because you are the guy that we dressed up as the old man. You are the guy who like cosplayed as underprivileged old man and all that, right? So
cosplay my ass.
You're the one seen in the video, so you'd be better placed to talk about it, right?
Yeah. So my take on it is that if you do something that generates more awareness, that doesn't harm people in the process and doesn't undermine or trivialize the issue, I'm totally fine with it. I'm totally fine with it. And that's why in this case also I feel like, I think the criticism of a Squid Game video, that one I agree to a certain extent. But this one I totally disagree, and I think it's fucking stupid.
The disagree with the criticism?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, part of the extension of the poverty porn criticism was that if he really wanted to help, he wouldn't have to make a video of it, because the video, he'll make money from the video. So if you really wanted to help, why do you have to stick cameras in their face? Yeah, we get it, you're rich. Just help without making a video, and you're exploiting them for content. So I completely disagree. Which kind of extrapolates from my own belief about it. But what about your answer to your own question?
I think, like you, very similarly, I feel that if a content creator, one of the biggest content creators in the world, is using his platform to inform more people about something, and at the same time also deliver some charity porn, what's wrong with that, right? Like, he could be doing a lot more frivolous kind of topics, like, I bought 1,000 Teslas and crashed them all, or sunk them all in the sea, or some crap like that, right? And it will cost around the same amount of money. But it wouldn't do anything for the rest of us. In fact, like, from this video, I got a better understanding of like how cataracts work and how this kind of surgery works, and it's interesting to know. And yeah, even there being outraged about the fact that there isn't a universal healthcare for a lot of these people, which would cover them for a simple procedure like that. That made me interested to go and read up a little bit more about it, and watch some other YouTube videos of like eye doctors who were talking about it and all. And generally, even there was one particular video from an eye doctor who was reacting to this, and it was very positive. He's saying that even the graphics that MrBeast was using in this video were actually really good explaining how this surgery works to people. Obviously there are some inaccuracies with regards to the recovery time and all that, but generally the surgery you don't instantly become you don't instantly recover overnight and be able to see, but it takes about 6 to 8 weeks or whatever, right? So those things, I guess, for brevity or for making the content more easily consumable, they skipped over all of that. So I don't blame MrBeast for doing that. The only thing I would say is that, I felt that the video was it had a very feel-good element, because I think we didn't mention that he also was just throwing out money and throwing out gifts to the people who got cured of their blindness. $10,000, $50,000, sponsor their college education. He even bought one of the kids a Tesla. A kid who doesn't have a driver's license, a Tesla, So that aspect of it, I'm like, was that really, really necessary to do that? Because it feels to me there's the element of celebrating materialism and all. But okay, but maybe that's just grasping at straws to really make a point. But in general, I wish that he had also gone a little bit more into why is it that certain countries don't have medical insurance to cover this. Because what I learned was in the US, general state insurance does cover a procedure like this for cataracts. So MrBeast doesn't explain whether he paid for it or he worked with a sponsor or somehow did he tap on the insurance or something like that. I'm not sure. So I wish he had talked a little bit about that so that people can, other than just the feel-good element of it, think about how else they can petition their governments or petition their authorities to look more into this issue. Because I think that would be a greater, better effect of everything he's doing.
But then it becomes a thing of like, how much can he do with one video? Because if he goes into that sort of detail, then if there's more info, if it's more technical, if it's more dry, it is going to affect how the video performs. Because one big thing for YouTube, or at least it was up till a few years ago, I still think it is your watch time, how many people stay till the end of the video, right?
Yeah.
So I think
you mean the watch
it's
completion? You mean the completion percentage?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Retention rate, the retention.
Yeah.
So the way YouTube works is the more people complete your video, the better it thinks your video, the more it serves it to people. And I think it is a fine balance how deep to go versus how brief to go. I know I have been quite vocal about my issues with, say, content that Nas Daily used to create. I say used to because I don't really watch his content that much, like where he summarizes socialism versus democracy in a 3-minute video or something like that, or communism. That is too brief. But in this case, I actually thought he did a video that was enough to spark conversation and get people like you to go down the rabbit hole. Because the thing is, like, if you want to go down all the technical details, it comes up to a 15-minute video, 20-minute video. You're gonna probably not get people to stay till the end. And one thing that a lot of these articles that they cover, including Forbes and all, they only touch on, or at least what I found funny about the articles, right, is they are the tweets they highlight, right, about the criticism don't actually have that many likes or retweets. No, let's say 1,000 likes, right? But MrBeast's tweets, or like the tweets of people who are supportive, get so much more. But there's this thing that almost a few are picked out, and that causes one article to be written, and it feels like it causes like a whole sequence of other articles to be written. And some of them also have a little, you can tell they are biased. Like I was reading the Forbes one, and one thing they say about MrBeast, like when talking, with a particularly distasteful thumbnail, really emphasize the fact that this simple life-changing medical procedure has become content because of the fact that it's inaccessible to those who need. And they also reference like another Twitch streamer called Hasabi or something, where there was just this clip of him reacting, saying, when I watch this video, I feel enraged. And the article wrote, this also kind of pissed off this YouTuber. But if you watch the full video, the YouTuber says he's pissed off because he cannot believe why such a procedure is not made accessible to the public. And he's more pissed off with the system. So the reason I give that context is, in the general space of YouTube and mainstream media, there's been an ongoing tension for the longest time, because the mainstream media, the big boys, they've always seen YouTube as like, hey, you all are just amateurs, don't encroach on us. So this is my conspiracy theory. I would imagine that these companies, a lot of whom are struggling to get clicks and views, are realizing that here's a guy who started a company that is getting like 100 times more reach than them. So any chance to shit on him, right, they will take it. And that's the only way I can internally justify, like, why would they spend so much time writing an article criticizing him based off of a handful of tweets? So that was what I got from it.
I mean, it's just, they're sort of, I guess, trying to be contrarian in some ways to also get some clicks.
Why would people be contrarian?
Why? It's basically,
who does that?
It's the mainstream media way of saying, it's pronounced omelette. That's the mainstream media's way of reacting to this like this. They just find something that completely makes sense and then just like says, oh, no, it doesn't make sense. This is the way it makes sense. Yeah. No, but there's a lot to unpack in what you said. I think I don't get me wrong. I think the video is still great for what it does for society and all. All I'm saying is a little bit more information or a call to action of what people can do to help also, I think would be useful. Like maybe, hey, do you know that a lot of people in your country also could be getting this help? Maybe you could donate to these causes or petition your governments to whatever, you know. I know he's not a politician, so that's not what he's trying to do. But the thing is, after you watch a video like this, what do you do? Like, other than feeling good and feeling like, oh, MrBeast is saving the world. Like, what can you, as a normal person with a 9-to-5 job and just watching a YouTube video after vegging out at work, what can you do to help? That's where I feel like, you know, there is it's just a small thing that I'm thinking can be added to the videos lah. So I'm not saying that the video is bad or that he needs to make it a 15-minute long video and talk about all the intricacies of the healthcare system to do that, because everyone else will do that for him, you see. But for him, I wish he had there was something to direct people towards some kind of call to action.
But I mean, in the first line of the video description, it literally says, if you'd like to support more of the site's restoring work, visit seeinternational.org.
But you see, I didn't look in the description. I'm the type that just watches the video, and after that, I don't look in the description.
Whose problem is it, Terence?
No, that's where, I mean, you have to put it in a place where people will actually look, right? You can't blame when someone's driving on the road, you don't blame them. Hey, you never look up in the sky and see the sign there that's saying there's a stop sign here or anything like that. You got to put a stop sign where it's visible for people, right? The traffic lights in the sky doesn't mean that I can see it, right?
No, that's one thing I always find weird about, you know, the things that warn you about the steps. You know, there's a step. They put it on the step.
You mean what warn you about what steps? As in...
You know, like when you're getting off the bus or some ledge.
Oh yeah.
Like they will say, "Oh, watch your step." Like down.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you're not you will fall off the step when you're not looking there.
Exactly.
So why the hell would you put the sign there?
Yeah.
You know? So okay. So I mean, but that's a whole other pet peeve. But the one thing that I saw someone point out also is that if you understand MrBeast, or if you know the way he does things, he does claim to want to give away all the money he makes and to reinvest a lot of the money he makes into doing shit like this. So if you take that blind faith, just by watching the video, right, you are helping. Because by driving up the views, you are allowing him to get more money to do stuff like this. Of course, things could very quickly go south with that sort of blind faith.
Yeah.
You know? To the point that I think some people were calling him the antichrist, and then on Reddit someone pointed out, no, but he's more like the modern day Jesus Christ. You know, he has millions of followers, right? He does good. But basically, there's and I think people were calling him to be president. He ran a vote on Twitter. 183,000 people voted, and 70+% want him to be president, but he's only 24. So that's the only thing that scares me about, he's becoming so influential and so big. Yeah. And you never know, you never know what could happen.
Yeah. And just I think going back to what you're saying about him becoming president, right? What you're seeing is a very edited aspect of who he is as a person, right? He says he cures 1,000 people. I don't know how many people he actually sat down with and recorded videos with and all. What happened to the rest of the 980 people that weren't featured in the video or what, right? How did that work? And of course, there's probably no audit that's going to be done to see if he really did it, or did he just donate money and just get it done? But that's where, I think is as much as he's doing a lot of good with his videos. His history of his videos, like the Squid Game video, for example, kind of. The whole point of Squid Game as a show was really about how, how the rich people were using poor, desperate people as playthings in a game, right? And then he went on to spend $5 million to literally create a game where people won life-changing money by participating in the challenges, which ends up being like now everything on Netflix and all the reality shows on Netflix are basically that style already, right? So that kind of like that's where I felt like, okay, his videos are always entertaining, but they always skip that level of engagement or discussion that should happen after a video like that comes out. You know what I mean? And I see that as a theme in a lot of his things. Like there's always a very high concept that's very interesting that hooks people to come and watch it. You watch it, it's alright, it's semi-entertaining, it's heartwarming. But then after that, I always feel like the ending always like, okay, what's next? Like, are we waiting for MrBeast to cure climate, save the climate or something like that? Is that his next video? I think he's planted the trees and all that.
Probably probably.
But yeah, it's almost like you have to just sit there and just wait for MrBeast to do something as opposed to, how else can people help, right?
But I mean, that's also where, what people's... Go on.
Yeah, so that's where just a little tiny critique, if anything, of what his approach, I would say. Coming as content creators who have done similar-ish kind of content, but of course without the same reach that he has, right? The same views, same reach. But we've tried, every time we do that content, we do sit down and ask ourselves, what is it that we want people to take away from the video, right? And I think we consciously try to make it a point that there's some takeaway for people that even if it's very on the nose, telling them, hey, go home and hug your family or something, at least give them something that they can also do outside the video to really make a change, right?
But then it comes down to the same thing about, I mean, ultimately YouTube, it's not free to air. You still have to click, right? Because then it comes down to different approaches of doing the same video. Of course, where it becomes tricky is like doing the same video in like a 1 minute TikTok will have a very different feel also, right? 8-minute video versus 20-minute video. They're all different feels.
So question. Sorry, because you're talking about styles of videos. You mentioned the big N just now, Mr. N himself.
Yeah, Nas Daily.
Nas Daily, right?
Yeah, Nas Daily.
So if Nas Daily, if his videos had, it was like 3-minute summary of a problem in a place, if his videos were accompanied by, I cured 100 people's blindness by doing this kind of thing, would you feel better about his videos? If like there's a charity element in front of his videos, and then after he talks his 3-minute summarized spiel about a topic.
Wow. Then it becomes a thing like, how willing are you to tolerate stuff that is maybe not the best if it does good, right? Right. Wow. I think that one hard to say. I think it really depends. I wouldn't say it's a blanket no or blanket yes. Because it just as you were saying that, the one thing I was thinking about that you do see online is, those African safari, those game safaris, where basically you pay shit tons of money to kill one lion, so that they can use the money to save the other lions.
Conservation, right?
And conservation. So that always, when I think about it, right, I'm like, oh my God, I don't know how to think about that. I don't know how to think about that. And like what you said, like if someone does something that, okay, maybe is not the best subjectively, if you pair it with something that allows him to do a lot of good, does it make it okay? And I don't know, Terence. I don't know. What about you?
No, yeah. So just to think about a specific example, like when Nas Daily did that video that featured Lee Hsien Loong in it as well, right? Maybe if he started that video, I went around Singapore and gave 100 homeless people like $100 each to kickstart their day or whatever. Then after that, he went to meet Lee Hsien Loong and shake hands with him and feature in the video.
Kickstart your day.
No, I said just give them something, give something to charity to make the world a better place. And then he goes to meet Lee Hsien Loong at the Gardens by the Bay. And with that, I think maybe in some sense there'll be less grounds to criticize his actions. That's what I feel.
But that one feels more like poverty porn. Because, like, okay, for let's say MrBeast video, he still gives the context of what the condition is, how much it costs, and talking about preventable blindness and why it's an issue that not everyone has access to it. Whereas if it's just like someone just going up to homeless people on the street, here's $200, here's $200, here's $200, and now Lee Hsien Loong. Fuck, like, that is poverty porn. That is poverty porn.
Yeah. But I don't. I mean, that's where I think that's where content creators do need to think about, like, how the actions also affect the environment and the people that they are, targeting for their content, because I think For me also, yeah, like I mentioned earlier, the giving of the Tesla and all that, is that I didn't understand those aspects of things lah. Like you don't need why are you giving a kid who doesn't have a driver's license a car? It's like that's just straight up weird and probably illegal. So
no,
right?
He has a license. He has a license.
Does he? He said he doesn't have a license.
Yeah, he was driving towards the end, what?
Yeah, exactly. He did. He said he didn't have a license. That's what I remember very clearly. Yeah. He got a go-karting accident. Then his eyesight got worse. But he actually doesn't have a driver's license because of his eyesight. Yeah. So it was kind of it was a bit strange, the whole thing.
But one thing I think this also highlighted is this notion, which I think still is present today, that if you want to do philanthropic work, if you want to do good, you cannot make money while doing it. And I hate that mindset. Because I mean, I'm just seeing like okay, for the few tweets that articles were about, it's almost they do say that, you know, if he really wanted to be philanthropic, why does he need to couple it with a video that makes him rich? He's doing it only for clout. No lah, and that's something that I mean, last time also I used to do like work in the development world and microfinance, and before that became shit, and it always struck me like non-profits and all, is it the best working model to solve social issues lah? And it's just like the fact that you can't make money while doing good is just it's almost like if you're helping the poor, and you make 150,000 a year, cannot. Even though you might be the best person making the most impact for the lives of the poor, you cannot earn that much. And I think there is that notion. I don't know why. I can imagine why, but I also get a feel of that here, like that. Why don't you use the money to film, to even pay for more surgeries? No, and I think that's a very, very annoying belief, lah.
So you are saying that going back decades to the NKF scandal, when the head of the NKF at that point of time, Titi Durai, installing golden taps in the NKF office was it's okay. What's wrong with golden taps if you're helping a lot of people?
Terrence, see, this is the example of someone who listens and hears only what they want to hear. I will say that the one thing that I only found out later about Titi Durai, of course, the gold tabs and like flying first class and all, that one is unnecessary lah. But the way I think at that point in time, he raised the most amount of money per non-profit employee compared to any non-profit in the world. I think so. Or there was some stat that he actually did a very good job at that lah. And it feels like there's a bigger story there that we will never uncover. But
so I think what you're saying is we separate the corporate governance issues from the individual's ability lah, right? Like why? How is it that golden taps could be, gold-plated taps could be approved for what is essentially an office lah, right? For the company use lah, right? Flying and the policies regarding flying business class and all that lah, right? Those are separate from what the individual's salary might be, because I think the famous words were, there's peanuts to whatever money he was able to raise for NKF lah, right? I think he was making $600,000 a year or something, and people are outraged by that. But a comment was made that there's peanuts compared to what he actually raises for NKF lah, and maybe it was, and that's the context that people, I think at that point of time, a lot of things were being, there were a lot of overlapping things that were actually separate discussions, corporate governance versus, a person's individual compensation and all that, right?
Exactly. So it's an interesting debate that's been around for the longest time, and it's even been written about extensively. One book that a good friend of mine referenced is called Uncharitable: How Restraints on Non-Profits Undermine Their Potential, which was about this guy whose non-profit company raised $582 million in funds over 9 years, but his company was still put out of business because people were not happy that his employees were being paid market rate lah. So then it becomes like he raised $582 million. So that's why I'm curious to know what other people listening think about this. And if you haven't watched the video, go watch the video lah. Even though you feel like you might be contributing to capitalism, just go watch the video. I just want to know what people think.
Yeah, definitely. But
man.
I mean, going from talking about frivolous ways in which people can spend money compared to something much more helpful for society. I think our next story is about someone who seems to be quite frivolously spending money on lawyers, right, in Singapore. And it has now become an international story as well. And what is this story? Yeah?
International? Is international?
Yeah, it's on the Independent. The Independent, which I think is a UK newspaper as well. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it is the news that of a man who is suing a woman because he wanted a romantic relationship with her and she didn't. So he's suing her for causing trauma, emotional trauma.
Yeah.
Emotional trauma. So I mean, the whole chronology of stuff, I think, like, based on what I gather from the articles, is that they became friends. They met in 2016. They became friends in 2020. Allegedly, they became misaligned in how they saw their relationship. While the woman regarded the man as a friend, the man regarded her to be his closest friend. And I think this is official facts, right?
Yeah, and court documents.
And so she asked her interactions to be reduced. He was displeased, and he felt it was taking a step back in the relationship. And then she set boundaries and urged him to be self-reliant. So then, later that year, he issued her a letter of demand, threatening legal action for, and I quote, monetary damages arising from negligent infliction of emotional distress and possible defamation. Then there was a text message exchange. He said she could either comply or to deepen the relationship or suffer irrevocable damage. So then he went for counseling. She agreed to participate in the counseling, and she did for a year and a half. A year and a half. And then she felt it was becoming useless. Then in 2022, I think he didn't calm down. Then she started harassment proceedings. And then he filed a court claim in the High Court in July 2020. And it just escalated from there. And it was a magistrate's court's claim for alleged breach of the steps to better align their relationship. Oh my God. Yeah. So you can imagine this is like the friend zone issue getting blown up.
Yeah. So it's TLDR is basically a guy is suing for being friend zoned, right?
For being friend zoned, yeah, correct. And it's 3 million, it's a $3 million claim.
Yeah. This is the kind of thing that maybe if you just broke up and you're feeling really shitty about everything, this is the kind of thing you wish you could do, but probably one of your friends will probably come and smack you in the head like, please lah, are you kidding? This is like stupid. But I think this one is really he took it all the way lah, right?
Yeah. And I mean, my favorite Reddit comment so far, one I saw is like, wow, like that, how many people I must sue? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like that, I also have to sue. I also have to sue a lot of people, man.
Yeah,
I also have to sue. But that's I guess our first takes on it, lah. But is there any side of this that you can see having some semblance of justification, some semblance of being reasonable?
The thing that I'm not sure about what I can say to bolster his case or anything, like, because it does sound rather extreme to me. But I would try. I'm just trying to understand, why is it that she agreed to go for counseling? Because it's not like she needed the counseling or anything like that, you know. But she literally for a year and a half, she attended counseling sessions with him and a counselor to try and I don't know what, like to mend, you know, keep the relationship still at a distance, but make him feel better. But because that seems to me like you're also giving false hope to the person, right? In some way. By it's like marriage counseling, kind of. If you're in a relationship with somebody, if you agree to go for, if you're, say you want to break up, then let's go for marriage counseling. If you agree to go for marriage counseling, usually it means that you hope to be able to patch things up, right? So that's where I'm like a bit puzzled how how she was convinced to go for this counseling. You know, why the counselor would think that is a good idea. And yeah, if there's anything more to it in the interactions that maybe we're not seeing in these court files, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's why exactly, because like it just feels weird. That's why, yeah, like what you said, it feels there's a lot more that's yet to be unpacked, because it just feels like there's something off, like. And then upon further digging, because I mean, okay, the identities of the people, like at least their last names have been made public, right?
Not their full names, I think. Right.
Not their full names, yeah.
No, the full names have been made public, right? No?
It's just Mr. K. I mean, I guess we can say the name, right?
Yeah. Then the article, right?
It's Mr. K. Kaushigan and
Nora Tan.
Miss Nora Tan.
Yeah.
Right. So I was just wondering, okay, like it feels like there's something off. So one thing that he did say also in the court documents is that as a result of her breach, his earning capacity as an active high capital trader by night and a busy CEO by day has been negatively affected. And I was thinking, so I mean, if he's the CEO of a company, let me just Google the name lah. And he is apparently the CEO of this company called D1 Racing, which is a drone racing company in Singapore.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it is the D1 Drone Racing is also the organizer of the New Year's Eve beach party and drone show 2022 at Siloso Beach, which was cancelled and got a whole bunch of backlash by ticket holders not getting their refunds back. So it just feels like wow. That's why, in addition to there being some uncovered stuff for this case itself, it feels like this guy is at the center of not just one controversy, two controversies. Who is this guy?
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's a strange one. But have you ever? I'm sure you've been in this kind of situation where you've maybe felt
kena friend zone,
or something like that. Like, how does it feel? Do you think it's possible that if it was available to you to use legal action, do you think you would have gone that way? Like, do you think you'd be so angry that you would go down that road?
Okay, so I remember being in really shit situations where I was like, what is wrong with me? You know, that kind of thing. I think at that point in time, the whole legal action route didn't strike me at all, because I wasn't aware that this is even a possibility.
You need a better lawyer. You need a better legal representation.
Yeah, none of my friends happened to be lawyers at that point in time. What the hell? They were still studying, so they couldn't advise me. But I don't know. I don't think it's a case where, let's say, if I wasn't married now and I was still dating and I cannot friend zone to the max, I know more about law now than I did. Whether it would even be a consideration, I would still say no. Would you?
It's just
don't
way
give me
too
the
much.
Shit, you never cannot friend zone before.
No, of course, but it's just way too much trouble, right? Because I think even if you get friend zoned and everything, if you go and read up like how to get over this kind of friend zoning, the advice is always like the best revenge is indifference or something like that, lah, right? So don't appear so affected by everything, lah. So I guess that's the crux of what a lot of people will tell you, how to get over a friend zoning, lah, right? Is literally don't show yourself being so affected by it. And in some ways that might actually make you seem a bit more attractive, like, right, to the other person. When it looks like you've already gotten over it very quickly and you're living your best life, lah. Don't take any relationship advice from me, because I've been out of the game for so long. But the general, I think it is very true. It's the crux of it. Is like there's no way to make yourself more attractive to somebody who has already friend zoned you, other than by moving on and being the best version of yourself that you can be without the person, right? Why are you laughing so much? Why are you laughing so much?
No, because another option to deal with friendzone is use a work trip to France as an opportunity to film yourself having a great time. This causes a good friend of yours to want to start a company with you, doing a business in the content space and making podcasts, so that 12 years later you can talk about the incident that happened back in 2011.
Yeah. Do you like every time we release a podcast, do you like copy the link and then like send it to the person who friendzone you?
Hey,
say,
no
see where
la, please la, no way, the hell.
I saw you recently posting about I think one of the shows that you appeared in is on Netflix, right? We can say it, right?
Oh yeah.
Kemokakis, right? And then like
Kemokakis is on Netflix.
And then I was chuckling to myself when I saw a lot of people commenting, "Wow, Haresh, like from the days of you jumping into a fountain and now you're on Netflix." And I'm like, dude is shilling for the SAF and everything, man. Like, can we like calm down the congratulations?
Yo, Terrence, don't rain on my parade, man. No, but the only reason I posted it, aside from just like wanting to promote the show, the people I work with and all were great. I do want to do a better job of posting online, and like about the shit that we do, about the shit that I care about and stuff like that. So it's an effort, lah, Terrence. Don't shit on my effort, okay?
But
play
after
the social media game.
You look through the likes, lah. You see who like, and then you see if any of those girls who friendzone you liked it, lah. Then if they like, then you send message, hey.
Oh, I haven't checked, but maybe I will, lah. Maybe I will. No, what I wanted to say, right? Okay, so in this case, if you read, he did say that, or at least there was one part that he said he felt he was like she was his closest friend, while he felt that she felt that he was only a friend, lah, right? So then I was thinking, okay, if you think about marriage and divorce, right, where things can get messy, things can take a legal route and all. Is it just the fact that marriage is bounded by law? So if it gets messy, you will have to go back to law. But ultimately, it's still a relationship between two people who are emotionally invested in themselves, without kids yet, lah. So when it comes to friends, right, can there be ever a case, be it now or in future, where someone is so wrecked by a relationship with someone that maybe it's almost like they were misled, lah, they were strung along, lah, and let's say they really gonna screwed, like, you mean, is there no legal recourse at all?
But you can't equate marriage and friendship, because marriage is literally a contract, right? It's a legal contract that you sign with the state, between each other as well. And there are protections, there are procedures, there are like very clear protocols to follow for you to to enjoy the so-called benefits of marriage, lah. Whereas friendship, like, I know sometimes even the line between acquaintance and friend is so hazy and so hard to define, right? Like, are your colleagues your friends? Is someone that you had coffee once with, is that a friend or is it a colleague? Hey, heck, even people who sit down and talk to on our podcast for 3 hours at one go, after that, I don't think we even say hi to each other when we see each other outside. That kind of thing. It has happened before, right?
Where God? Like, no, if we see each other, I was like, where God?
No, not you and me. I'm talking about like whenever guests.
Oh, a guest.
Sometimes we've had guests on that. I'm like not confident that if I see them in public or they see me in public, that we would necessarily say hi to. That we are necessarily friends and will say hi, lah. So yeah, it's such a gray area between friends and acquaintances. That how come can you? Wow, if you have to start setting a legal precedence for what a friend is, that's like a wormhole to dive into, lah.
Maybe that's how the institution of marriage came about. Maybe back then, people were having sex with each other and fucking and all this, like making kids and all. And at one point, they started wanting to be like, you know what? I'm going to do the equivalent of suing you, like whatever that was thousands of years ago. And people were like, okay, look, we need to bind some rules around this. And apparently, marriage, the earliest evidence of institutionalized marriage was about 4,350 years ago, lah. So maybe there might be a point in time where there's a contract for friends also, or like dating. A pre-marriage contract. A pre-marriage contract. Right.
Or maybe something like you have to kind of just like, it's kind of like the personal data protection stuff that goes on these days.
Yeah, exactly.
Like when you get an email, you have to reply yes in order to be subscribed to the mailing list. So it's like, hey, are we?
correct.
You can literally send someone saying, hey, are we friends now? Yes. If yes, please use your SingPass to log in and just click yes.
Yeah, that's right.
That
Then
kind of
if
thing,
you are dating, if you're dating and you buy something together, you know, now when you break up, like who gets what? You never know what, right? Then there might be a dating court to go to.
Yeah.
You know, who specialize in these dating contracts that are severe.
Yeah. This is helping. We're helping to shape an infrastructure around your friendships. That's another business plan on top of the Yala Bidet that we talked about today.
Yala Bidet and Yala Bat toilet paper. But yes, I mean, I didn't even know it went international, but I guess not surprising, given that it was getting quite a lot of traction in Singapore. Man.
What's the most aggressive thing you did to someone who friendzoned you to try and show that to whether it's to show that you are over that person or anything like that? Or do you say it already? Do you say it already, like taking a trip to France and making videos about it?
I think maybe that was the wouldn't say the most aggressive. That was the situation felt like I could make something out of it. Aside from that, I don't know, like just having awkward conversations, like trying to still get somewhere and facing a wall. So yeah. And why is it focused on my dating life, Terrence?
Because mine was so long ago, I can barely remember. But yours is still more recent.
Say no. Hey, I've been with my wife for like 5 years, really, dude.
Yeah, no, don't say you've just got married. You've been attached for 5 years. But at least, you still went through the whole, more recent dating phase and all, and that's why I'm asking, yeah.
Okay, it's okay.
Yeah. No, I mean,
but
for me, I think if anything, it's just like trying to go by the mantra of living your best life, right? Whether it's using social media to post stuff about yourself and all that, right? But other than that, like nothing more than that, nothing close to seeking legal action for it, Yeah.
Yeah. But who knows? Maybe we are in the dawn of a new age, where people see this, they're like, oh shit, I can sue people now.
Yeah. So I mean,
never know, man.
We'll see what the court says, but it doesn't sound like it's one of those things that will really go through, Yeah.
Cool,
yes.
Man.
Cool.
Yes.
As always, we like to talk about what's the one Shiok comment, and what is your one Shiok comment of this.
I have a feeling I know what your one Shiok comment is going to be, but I will let that be.
Not necessarily.
Okay. So I mean, from someone who I haven't seen comment, I believe. It is Lie is here 22 on our previous, on the Reddit post of our previous Yalabot episode. They said hi Terrence and Harish, guests are great, but the Terish combo is the best. I've been a long time listener based in Seattle. Thanks for accompanying me while I walk my dog in the morning and keeping me up to date on what's happening in Singapore. Also, since you're subscribed to HBO, recommend giving White Lotus a try. Wow, Seattle. My only issue is why is it Terish and not as opposed to Herons?
Herons.
Why is it Terish? Yeah, Herons.
Because Herons or
Terish.
Teresh. I was just trying to count the number of letters, whether he or she was trying to be fair.
Terish. Herons.
But Herons. I mean,
maybe that's a poll we should run. Maybe that's a poll we should run.
No, my immediate thought is that T is a consonant, right? So it's stronger sounding than a H, lah. So herons, there's no, people might not think about the Terrence when they hear herons. You know what I mean?
Is it?
But when you say Terish, the TER must come from somewhere, right?
I don't know. Like when I hear Terish, I can feel like it's a muffled sound of someone in another room talking about property. Like, hey, how's your Terish house?
Terish. No, but you've been referred to as Resh, right? Resh. Bro Resh.
Yeah.
Bro Resh and things like that. Nobody says to me, bro Reds. Oh, that was like a bro zoning that you got right at one point in time, I remember.
Yeah, bro Resh.
Very, very clear. Yeah, they call you bro Resh. So the Resh.
Friend zone.
You can be defined by a Resh, but I can't be defined by Runs. That doesn't make sense, Like nobody calls me Runs.
I've heard people call you
exactly. So they said Resh, yeah. So that's the best of both worlds, right?
You know what? We're just going to run a poll. And I want to see people vote. Terish or Herons? Cool.
That's right.
Okay, that was my one Shiok comment.
Yeah, my one Shiok comment is actually it's just a bunch of comments because I haven't, admittedly, since I was away, I didn't really even been following our TikTok that much. But yeah, surprisingly, our TikTok has been, it's been getting a bunch of nice views on certain topics we're talking about, and yeah, I think the biggest surprise was that I think Tristan posted the video of me tearing up when we listened to our listeners, sending messages to us. And yeah, that video itself on TikTok has got like 16,000 views, which is one of higher views already. Or not a lot of comments, but people are saying that one from Hannah was saying that I welled up to, gonna keep listening. So yeah, pretty awesome that people also are emotionally affected by stuff that happens on our podcast. Yeah.
Sweet, man. Wow, cool. That's awesome. Sweet. Cool.
Yes.
And what about your one Shiok thing, man?
Yeah, I think one Shiok thing I came across recently was that every year there's something called I don't know if you know about it, probably, but it's called the Puskas FIFA Puskas Award, right? It's an award for the most spectacular goal that is scored across any league or any competitions around the world, right? And apparently, I think recently they've been releasing videos of all the nominated Puskas Award goals in 2022. From what I understand, there's a whole I can't tell how many there are total. I think like 10 or something like that. So there are a lot from players that have heard of, like Mario Balotelli things. But there's one in particular that I was very impressed by. And it was by a player called Marcin Oleksy. Or that's the team name, I'm not 100% sure. But basically, in a nutshell, because, in case you don't watch the video, you should go and watch it still. In a nutshell, it's basically people with one leg, and crutches playing football. And this guy, one of the players, scores a bicycle kick goal with one leg. As in, he's a one-legged player, and he scores a bicycle kick goal off his crutches. Yeah. So I mean, I'm not doing it justice by the way I'm describing it, but you should just check it out, because when you watch it, you'll be embarrassed about, wow, even with two legs and two hands and everything, I can't do something like that. And this guy does it with crutches and one leg. Yeah.
Oh shit! And that happened when? As in, it's for the past year, lah.
Yeah. So I think there are 10 nominees for 2022, and this is one of the goals that was nominated, basically a bicycle kick goal from a one-legged player, from a cross from another one-legged player. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, yeah. Do check it out.
Wow, that's awesome. And it's together with a compilation or like a standalone?
No, there's a whole playlist of Puskas Award goals. So most of them are able-bodied players and all, whether it's men or women or what. But this is the one that stood out to me the most, yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So what is your one Shiok thing?
My one Shiok thing is this comic, that online comic that I came across recently. That's been around for a long time. You may have heard of it. It's XKCD. Have you heard of XKCD?
Very familiar.
Yeah. It's before the time of the oatmeal and all that, and it was basically a lecturer, I believe, who started this comic.
I know about this. Yep.
Yeah, he was it was created in 2005 by an American author who basically, as a student, he drew a lot of charts and maps and stick figure battles while growing up, Then in 2005 he started just scanning his doodles and putting it on his website, and that blew up, and now he's got a pretty awesome website which he describes as serious answers to absurd questions and absurd advice for common concerns. So basically, he'll take like a ridiculous question like, could I cool down the earth by capturing a comet and dropping it in the ocean like an ice cube in a glass of water, and scientifically break down why that is not possible in a very readable way.
Okay.
And what would happen if everyone on Earth stood as close to each other as they could and jumped, everyone landing on the ground at the same instant? Then he goes on to explain it scientifically, and his comics are hilarious.
And why do you suddenly start reading them again or seeing them again?
I think I saw something on Twitter, where someone scanned doodles from his grandfather, and they were like the undistractable games, undistractable puzzles. Basically, puzzles that are so simple it won't take time, and it's a bit satirical. So someone tweeted that saying, I guess humor runs in my family. Then I looked up this guy. I was like, oh shit, this is the guy behind XKCD. Then I started going down the rabbit hole of his website. I'm like, oh shit, his comics are awesome, man. If you like the Oatmeal, the Far Side, this is some good shit, man. Wait, but good. Why? It is good. It's good.
Cool.
But yeah, cool, right, man.
Another one in the bag.
Sweet. Another one in the bag. So start of February already.
Yeah.
So
welcome to Feb, man.
Welcome to Feb. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Okay, talk to y'all soon.